For the first time in 7 months, Walking Wake and Iron Leaves are back in the Tera raid spotlight in Scarlet and Violet. If you missed them the first 2 times, now is your chance to get your hands on these legendary Paradox Pokemon. Welcome back to another DanSquared video, you Danimals. Game Freak gave us Pokemon trainers some early Christmas presents, including a 7-star Iron Bundle Tera raid, and the long-awaited return of Walking Wake and Iron Leaves. I'm going to cover Iron Bundle in our next video, but right now let's talk Iron Leaves and Walking Wake. This is the 3rd time they're being featured in the Tera rating spotlight, and I just want to peel off the band-aid and give you the bad news. We are not going to be able to catch a second Walking Wake and Iron Leaves on the same save file. Now, I hope I'm wrong and we can laugh about this, but I would not be getting your hopes up. Even if you've already caught your Walking Wake and Iron Leaves, I need you to do your part to help the Danimal Kingdom and host Iron Leaves and Walking Wake Tera raids on our Tera rating live streams in the DanSquared Discord. It's the goal of the Danimal Kingdom to help as many people as possible get the Tera raid Pokemon in all the Tera raid events. Before we talk about how we're going to counter these Pokemon, let's take a look at Walking Wake and Iron Leaves. Let's start with Walking Wake. Defensively is a bit more specially frail, having a special defense of 83 versus a defense of 91. Like all past Paradox Pokemon, it has the ability Photosynthesis. That boosts its highest stat during harsh sunlight. That stat is Special Attack. Walking Wake and Iron Leaves are returning Tera raids, so we know exactly what moves they're going to have and what scripted actions they're going to take. Walking Wake only has special attacking moves, so in our counters we only need to invest in special defense. Walking Wake, of course, has its signature attack Hydro Steam, which is a strong special attacking water move that has its power raised during harsh sunlight instead of lowered. It also gets Stab Dragon Pulse and Flamethrower as a coverage move. It will also use Sunny Day to activate that Photosynthesis bonus and power up Hydro Steam. It has the move Noble Roar, which lowers the target's attack and special attack by 1 stage. This adds a ton of value to Pokemon with a defiant or a competitive nature. Noble Roar causes either of those abilities to trigger twice. Iron Leaves' moveset poses a bit more of a threat. It only has physical attacking moves, so we only have to worry about raising the defense of our Iron Leaves counters. We want to attack it with physical attackers if possible, because it has a base defense of 88 versus special defense of 108. With its base speed of 104, it's also going to outspeed a lot of our counters without speed EVs. Like all future Paradox Pokemon, Iron Leaves has the Quark Drive ability. This boosts its highest stat during electric terrain, which is its attack. It also has a signature move Psyblade, which is a strong psychic physical attacking move that has its power raised during electric terrain. Leaf Blade can be a pain because of its high critical hit ratio. Mega Horn is a really useful coverage move for Iron Leaves that helps check Dark-type Pokemon. It also gets Swords Dance to help raise its damage output in this raid. It will also use Electric Terrain to activate that Quark Drive ability and power up Psyblade. Here's the high-level overview for our 5 builds for taking down Walking Wake and Iron Leaves. Up top, you'll see our 2 Walking Wake specific counters. It's a newcomer Lanturn and a familiar face Bellibolt. You could actually use Bellibolt against Iron Leaves or Walking Wake. In the middle, we have our 2 Iron Leaf specific counters, Scizor and the infamous Incineroar. On bottom, we have our support Araquanid, which is going to put in work against both Walking Wake and Iron Leaves. And if you don't like those 5 builds, LOL, just use Annihilate. Thanks to its Defiant ability, it's going to put in work against Walking Wake, but it's going to struggle a bit against Iron Leaves thanks to Psyblade. Here's our Lanturn build for taking on Walking Wake. It has max special attack EVs, max special defense EVs, and the final 4 in HP. Walking Wake only uses special attacking moves, so we only need to worry about our special defense while countering it. The ability Water Absorb is one of the keys to this build. This gives our Anglerfish immunity to Walking Wake's strongest move, Hydro Steam. Discharge is this build's main attacking move. Charge Beam has a 70% chance to raise the user's special attack by 1 stage. We use it to power up and charge our Tera Orb. Amnesia gives this build even more special bulk. We can further increase our own special bulk and the special bulk of our allies by using Eerie Impulse to harshly lower Walking Wake's special attack. Lanturn uses the Shell Bell for some recovery. Thanks to Amnesia and Eerie Impulse, Lanturn is going to be really bulky in this raid. It pairs really nicely with an Acid Spray user like our next counter. Here is our Bellibolt for taking down Walking Wake. This build has been a staple of Tera raids and you likely already have it ready to go. Our build has max special attack EVs, max HP EVs, and the final 4 in special defense. This build has HP EVs instead of special defense, so we can use it against both Walking Wake and Iron Leaves. If you wanted to make a more focused Walking Wake counter, you could give your Bellibolt special defense EVs instead of HP. Electromorphosis is the key to this build. Whenever Bellibolt takes damage from attack, it doubles the power of its next electric type move. This takes Parabolic Charge from a pedestrian 65 base power to a frightening 130. Parabolic Charge has built-in recovery, so we don't need to use the Shell Bell, we can use the Metronome held item for some extra damage. Parabolic Charge is one of Bellibolt's egg moves, so you'll need to transfer it onto it via Picnic. Give your Bellibolt a Mirror Herb and Picnic with a Dedenne that knows Parabolic Charge. Acid Spray softens up the target for Parabolic Charge. I included Chilling Water in this build to make it better against Iron Leaves. Iron Leaves uses Swords Dance to raise its attack, so Chilling Water helps lower that attack back down. Light Screen increases Bellibolt and its allies' special bulk against Walking Wake. Next up is our Scizor build for taking down Iron Leaves. Scizor resists all 3 of Iron Leaf's attacks and has a ×4 resistance to Leaf Blade. Our build has max attack EVs, max defense EVs, and the final 4 in HP. Iron Leaves only uses physical attacking moves, so we only have to worry about our defense when countering it. The ability Swarm gives this build extra power. It gives Scizor a 50% damage boost to its bug moves when its HP is at 1/3 or lower. Lunge is this build's main attacking move. It hits for strong bug type damage while lowering the target's attack. This is going to hit for a ton of damage and erase Iron Leaf's ability to deal any damage. Swords Dance powers up Lunge. We do not need Iron Defense here, but it gives us some extra physical bulk. Pounce provides some speed control to Scizor and its allies so they can move before Iron Leaves. Scizor uses the Shell Bell for some recovery. Scizor's typing, the move Lunge, and its ability Swarm make it an elite Iron Leaves counter. Here's our Incineroar build for taking down Iron Leaves. Many of you despise this Pokemon in VGC, but in Tera raids, it can be your friend. Our build has max attack EVs, max defense EVs, and you put the final 4 in HP. It's able to hit for super effective Dark type damage on Iron Leaves, and its fire typing makes Mega Horn not hit it for super effective damage until it terastallizes. Iron Leaves is strictly a physical attacker, so the ability Intimidate helps lower its damage output right off the rip. Crunch is this build's main attacking move. It hits for powerful Dark type damage and has a 20% chance to lower the target's defense by 1 stage. This causes the damage to get out of control fast. Swords Dance powers up Crunch. We can use the turn 1 Will-O-Wisp to burn Iron Leaves. This will lower its damage output right off the rip. Incineroar can use Parting Shot to further lower Iron Leaves' attack. It also uses the Shell Bell for some recovery. Here is our Araquanid support build for Iron Leaves and Walking Wake. It has max HP EVs and max defense EVs and the final 4 in special defense. It has an impish nature to lower its special attack while raising its defense. This gives it a balanced defense of 311 and special defense of 301. Water Absorb is one of the keys to this build. Just like our Lanturn build, our Water Spider has immunity to all water type moves, including Walking Wake's strongest move, Hydro Steam. Speaking of Walking Wake, against it we're going to be using Skitter Smack to lower its special attack by 1 stage every time. Against Iron Leaves, we're going to be using Lunge just like Scizor. This lowers the target's attack by 1 stage every use. This build also packs Pounce for some speed control. Our 4th move is Leech Life for some extra recovery. Our Water Spider uses the leftovers held item for some recovery. It doesn't take super effective damage before it terastallizes. It is incredibly bulky, and thanks to Skitter Smack and Lunge, it can completely neutralize Walking Wake and Iron Leaves as threats to our entire team. Let us know in the comments if you try any of these builds out or what builds we missed. If you enjoyed this video, please consider dropping a like, leaving a comment, or using Psyblade on that subscribe button for more DanSquared. Thanks for watching and happy Walking Wake and Iron Leaf season.